Brandon Royval shows there's no substitute for experience, beating Tatsuro Taira in a close split decision. All this and more coming up next on Fighting with Friends. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fighting with Friends, the undisputed African fighting podcasting champion of the world. Speaking of champions, ladies and gentlemen, I have with me today the reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, Brother Gaia.
What's up, my bro?
What's up, Brother Gaia?
Feels like it's been a whole month that we haven't had the podcast, but I mean, it's only been 1 week.
It has been
good.
a hot second, bro. It has been a hot second. Good to see you as always. Speaking
Likewise.
of good to see, ladies and gentlemen, you might know this guy from the CPS Contender Series. Only professional record now, 7-0, of course. Last time out, winning by first round KO, ladies and gentlemen. It's El Nino Nazim, aka Babu.
Yes, sir. What's good, Eddie? What's good?
Welcome back, Babu. Away, gents.
Yes.
Good to be back. So, as always, we get started at the top of the card. It is, of course, UFC Fight Night, Royval versus Tatsuro Taira. And yeah, we saw Brandon Royval, of course, beating Taira by a very close split decision. And just in general, another night of very close decisions, right? So, BG, right decision for you here. And how did you see this one playing out, bro?
I must be honest, the fight did catch me by surprise. I thought Brandon Royval was just going to be a level above, maybe even winning every single round, but just slightly winning every single round. However, that being said, I think Tatsuro showed why he's in the top 5 of the division. I think he even surprised Brandon. Brandon himself said that he's like, I didn't think it was going to go like that. I thought I was going to raw dog him, and just put him to school, but it didn't turn out that way. I thought Tatsuro, what I want to give highlight to is his ability to actually stay in the fight, because I think round 3, Brandon almost put him out. Brandon almost had him finished in that third round, and he actually took the shots. And I always felt that his wrestling was going to be the thing that's going to keep him in the fight, because I thought he was a bit of a better wrestler than Brandon. Brandon doesn't necessarily wrestle really well, but Brandon's scrambling game is probably second to none in this division. And that's why he's always surviving very good grapplers. And then Tatsuro, once he had that body triangle, I think the rounds that he did win was fair enough for him to have won it. And it was round 4 and round 2. But I thought round 1, 3, and 5, Brandon Royval did enough. Round 5 was, it could have also gone to Tatsuro, but he did enough overall in that 5th round to get it. But we have to give hands to Tatsuro Taira. The dude showed up, and he didn't really box really well when they were standing. I think Brandon Royval was just outboxing him, outstriking him when they were standing. But he had the power advantage, so he did have a chance if he was going to land something massive. And I always thought that his best chance was going to be on the ground, obviously, and that's where he did look better when they went to the ground. But overall theme for the fight was quite amazing to watch. I mean, that's what you get from these flyweights guys, is high pace, high pressure for as long as the fight's going to go, whether it's going to be 2 rounds, 3 rounds, or 5 rounds. These guys go pacey all the time, and that's what we got in this fight. And I think Tatsuro's stock has definitely risen after this fight for sure, because he fought against someone who, in my mind, is the rightful number 1 contender, even though they've given the fight to the new Japanese guy that's coming in, that's fighting against Pantoja next. But then Brandon Royval just solidifies himself as the number 1 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, BG, definite advantage on the feet Brandon had against Tatsuro.
Yeah.
From your side, Babu?
No, I fully agree with BGD. I think the decision was correct. I think that round 3 was very dominant from Royal, and I think his post fight was fair to say he is a number 1 contender, because he has fought back to back names in the flyweight division, and he's always put on a showing. Even in the title loss, he still showed up and put out a good performance. And I think in this fight, I think Tatsuro, like I wasn't really too aware of like where he ranks like among them. But from the fight, I think like he showed that he's like in and amongst a couple of
Mm.
guys there. Like I would say just outside the top five, and like he just needs to make like a couple of more adjustments to his game, and then definitely we can make a run to the title. But I think like he's just outside, and you can see the like BG was pointing out, like Royal, you on the feet he was just a bit more comfortable, and he was a bit more like I've seen this before, I've been here before,
Mm,
and he kept clear with his goal of like making a run to the title again.
Yeah.
mm. Yeah, I mean, speaking of his post-fight speech, he did say that he invited Tatsuro to come and train at his
Mm.
gym. He did say that he sees him as a potential, well, he sees him as a future champion.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a big prospect for the future, but he does, like Babu was highlighting, he needs to kind of diversify his array of
Mm.
attacks, like his
Yeah.
arsenal. So yeah, definitely bright prospect for the future.
He's
So
young.
yeah,
He's very young.
we know the title shot, or the title fight that's happening with Pantoja. But
Mhm.
BG, what would you like to see next for the young prospect, Tatsuro Taira?
I'll talk about both of them. I like to see what's next for both of them. I think Tatsuro, he is still currently ranked number 5. Um, uh, Taking this loss, particularly that Kai Kara France won his last fight as well, he might go a number down. We might stay there. We'll have to see. Albazi's fighting Moreno next. That could be another one. And the winner of that, you're now going to have Brandon Royval who won the fight. You got Kai Kara France who won his last fight. And then you're going to have the winner between Albazi and Brandon Moreno. There'll be 3 fighters that are going to be waiting in the wings to see who they're going to get after Pantoja's fight. So I think Tatsuro Taira will probably have to get someone like Manal Cup next, or probably going to
Yeah.
get Kai Kara France because he's waiting now. And then
Mm.
Brandon Royval will probably get the winner between Moreno and Albazi, or the winner between the title fight that's happening now.
I don't know because he fought Moreno already, man. His last fight he beat Moreno. So I don't know. I like the Kai Kara France fight for Royval because they're both coming off wins, man.
But
Because
they beat him as well. He beat Kai Kara France as well.
but he beat Moreno more recently, man.
Yes,
Because
yeah, I get that.
that would
Yeah,
be the third. This would be the third time they fight, right? If they
if they
fought
were to
again now.
fight again, yeah, it would be 3 times.
I
And
mean, yeah. Why not then? Yeah.
that's the issue with this flyweight division right now is that these top 5 guys, and also we also have to understand the division is not very massive. They don't have a big roster of flyweight fighters. It's not that massive, so that's why we're seeing these repeat fights so much. This
Mm,
week coming up now, we've got a flyweight bout that's going up between Mateusz Nicolau and damn it, what's his name? It's another Uzbekistan fighter, and then I think he's ranked number 7 versus ranked number 5 or something like that. So they are trying to move the division up, but the top 5 of the division is pretty much the same guys we've seen fighting for the last like 4 years, 5 years in the flyweight division because it's not
mm,
that massive. And I think Tatsuro Taira is another addition to it. That's why I would like to see him go up against one of those top 5 guys, particularly Kai Kara France. I think he came off a win, and Tatsuro would have to get obviously a win to get back in that top to stay in that top 5. He shouldn't fight someone outside of it at this point. So he might even just get the loser between Moreno and Albazi. This is Tatsuro
mm,
now. He might get the loser between the two of them. And Brandon Royval will definitely have to fight the winner of the title fight,
mm.
Pantoja and the Japanese fella.
Babu, from your side, bro, do you agree with that or anything else to
Um,
add here?
no, I think like that's the right like calls. The the two fighters that stand out to me in that division is Alex Perez and Steve Usyk. Usyk coming off the loss to Cara
Mm,
Yeah,
France, but
mm,
even in that fight, like I thought, like Cara France just landed a bomb, and Usyk
yeah,
just didn't know how to handle it. So I would like to see him
eh,
like make a run in there
yeah.
because he hasn't really fought too many of the top 5 with like top 10
Mm.
really,
This
and
is
then
Tatsuro you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, he only fought
And
Alex Perez. That was the only guy that
uh,
was in the top. That's the only fighter.
as well as like Steve Usyk and Alex Perez, like they like the matchups that we do see, it's like matchups that has happened already. So I would
Mm,
like to see a couple of new fighters into the chat, man. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
mm,
but I
yeah.
think like BG is on the right path. Like the fights that are scheduled already, like I think they play out in this exact same way that he explained.
mm. I wouldn't mind seeing Tatsuro versus Usyk, but
Yeah.
I do
Whew,
think
be
Garcia
lekker.
could probably still be too much for him on the feet. That would be a very similar
Yeah.
pattern as this fight against Royval. But I don't know. Is Garcia a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
I don't know if he's a
I think
black
he's up
belt.
there. I think he's
Because I
Yeah, I
think
brown.
know.
because I know Royval is, and I think that was
Yes.
obviously a big factor here in the way that he managed to scramble in this fight.
Mm.
But okay, boys. Any final thoughts before we keep it moving?
I think the fight deserved the fight of the night, because they. We will talk about the other fights, but this one was really exciting because it was very high impact from the first minute to the last minute. So, highly
Mm.
entertaining.
Yeah, great fight. Great fight. Okay, boys, let's keep it going then. And here we go to the middleweight division, where, of course, Dricus is the champion. And here we saw Jin Young Park beat Brad Tavares by another split decision. So, Babu, was this the right decision for you under the circumstances?
I didn't watch the fight live, so I got to watch the highlights. And from the highlight packages, it seemed like, oh, I guess like it was the right decision. But also like bear in mind that like I only get to see like key moments in the fight,
Mm.
and from just key
Mm.
moments, it looked like Park was the one that was in the power positions or landing. I didn't get to see too much of Brad Tavares like shine.
PG?
Yeah. So I watched the fight, and I think Brad Tavares' best work was in the first round when he landed the knockdown. And then he was kind of hunting for that 1-2 combo throughout the fight pretty much. I think once Ju Young Park got up and he recovered from that knockdown, he was the one that was pretty much pushing the pace, the forward pressure. He wasn't landing as powerful shots as Brad Tavares because he wasn't throwing as many haymakers, but he was peppering away. He was landing a lot of jabs, short uppercuts in the clinches. And he was the one that was moving the fight to different situations. He took the fight down twice. He took the fight to clinching positions. He was the one that was never really on his back on the cage. Although I did think that Brad still had that one shot advantage. And he was, like I said, he was hunting for it throughout the fight, but he just never really got it. And I think Julian Park just outstruck him for that 15 minutes. And like I said, mixing it up by shooting for takedowns. I think he shot 6 times, landed 2 of them. So yeah, he took the fight into different situations where Brad didn't. And I think for that you have to score the fight into Young Park's advantage. So I think he definitely lost the first round, but then he definitely won the second and the third round, making it the split decision. But also entertaining fight as well. Unfortunately, Brad Tavares is now officially holding the record for the most fights in the in the UFC. He's gonna have to rethink about what's next for his career path. Is he gonna continue to do this? He is reaching a little bit of the older side of 30 now. He had a chance to get the title done when he was early in the UFC career, but never really made it back since then. And that's what I was saying in the preview. If he loses this fight, then I don't know what next for him, eh? Maybe he switches organizations or something because he's just taking beating after beating. Not necessarily like massive beating, but he's losing. He's taking losses after losses.
Fair point, PG. But what about Jin Young Park?
Lion
Babu,
Turtle!
any thoughts here? Or is it just as usual, all for nothing? Because as we say here, Dricus smokes them.
Well, that seems to be the catchphrase of the podcast, right? Tricker smokes them all, and that's not a joke. I think it's quite true. Actually, the words speak to itself, and the fight proves it. So, Julian Park performed really well, but I don't necessarily see Julian Park taking that particular style that he used and beating the top 5 of the division. To be quite honest, I think they all make a nightmare for him, or become a nightmare for him.
Babu, your thoughts here, bro?
Division is just stacked, bro. Like it's just one of that. It's one of that divisions where you look like even if you look like past the top 5, you look at the top 10 to top 15. It's just a hard road, bro. Like unless, when I think like maybe like to stand out in that division, you need to be like get the media and get like a lot of hype behind you so that you can fight like maybe one person outside the top 15 and then one person in the top 15 and then make a claim for the title and have like a decent hype for you. But if you're just gonna go about it as performance to performance, it's a long road, bro.
Yeah,
It's a
I
long
completely
road.
agree.
Super tough division.
Dude,
Definitely.
look at it. It's nuts. If I'm just looking at the fights now, I was like, who can he actually fight against? And I'm like, maybe Chris Curtis.
But he's number
yeah,
15, bruh.
he's number 15. Yeah, I was like, maybe Chris Curtis.
Yeah.
'Cause I was looking at Roman the lead saber. I was like, might be a boring fight to watch. Maybe Chris Curtis.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have any thoughts on this, man. So I guess we should just keep it moving then. And here we go to the welterweight division, where we saw Chidi Njokuani beat Gooden, not Jared Gordon, Jared Gooden, by was this unanimous decision? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I thought Chidi looked quite good. He mixed it up quite well. I thought PG. But from your side, bro, more in depth here. What did you see?
Yeah. Interesting. This fight was actually supposed to be the main event on the prelims, but they moved it up. Because I think Chidi carries quite a good stock around him. I mean, he's been in the UFC for quite some time, and Chidi Bang Bang showed up. From the first round, actually, I think he landed something massive. I'm not mistaken if it was an elbow or first round. He got him into the tie clinch onto the cage, and they just stayed there, and he was just throwing heavy knees after knees, and you could see Jared Gordon. I remember his face when he went back to the corner after the first round. His eyes were so wide, and he was trying to. And the coach was talking to him, but he was just like, looking around, like, wait, like, and I could tell, hey, this dude he's a bit out of it here. I think he took a bit of punishment. And then it was more of the same in round 2 and round 3, with Chidi Bang Bang. I was just guy clinching the shit out of him and just throwing some heavy knees, some busting up elbows. Although he didn't cut Jared, I thought, oh, why didn't this guy get dropped? Or why is no one getting knocked out? Because that amount of onslaught of strikes coming from the clinch can put anyone down. And I thought, oh, well done to Jared for staying in there, but you don't want to take that amount of punishment because he had nothing going forward after that. Like he couldn't throw Chidi off his game at all. And I think Chidi just did exactly what he did. I think around 2 or 3 he landed a knee off a clinch
Up
in the
the
middle.
middle.
Up the middle. He landed a knee, and you could see Jared was like completely. He was shooketh. I thought Chidi watched him and he was walking forward. I thought, Chidi, bro, just throw a left switch kick. He's not even looking at you. He's about to turn. Just throw a left switch kick. He just kept on walking towards him slowly. And then jab, took him to the cage and then clinched him up again. I thought, he could have finished him right there because he didn't even know that he was rocked so hard. But a very good performance from Chidi Bang Bang. Maybe you can call it the top 15 fighter now in the welterweight division. I would love to see that actually, because I do think that he's been in the UFC long enough to. And I thought to myself, he's fighting a lot of unranked opponents over the last 3-4 years. I thought, no, let this guy get a 15 ranked opponent now. So it would be nice to see who he gets next. In terms of Jared Gooden, he really didn't do enough in the 15 minutes for me to even say anything about him or to even get any sort of hype about him. It looked like he was just a walking, punching bag with that 15 minutes. And yeah, that's a bit unfortunate on his part.
Yeah, definitely. Baba, from your side, bro?
Yeah, I think like that sums up like the fight perfectly. The only thing that I would add is like Chidi Bang Bang. I think like for him, like in this fight you saw like what he lacks, and it's that put away the opponent pressure, because like he looks very like he doesn't have that urgency or that rush to like really put his opponent like completely out of it. And I am a fan of his, and I thought like after that knee that you mentioned, I was like, yo, just a rushes man, get him out. And then like for the fight then to continue and then go into the third, and then like Chidi is still like just peppering. He's not really like throwing like things with like real venom or conviction. And I think that's what lets him down, especially like within this division. Like that's why he doesn't like really get a named opponent, and he doesn't get that hype, because like it's you will have a KO and then you'll get a decision next fight, and then you're like, do I really want to invest stock into this man? And then he's also like, he's not, I don't want to say he's not anything special, but like he doesn't bring that like, that attraction, like, yo, you know what, this man's fighting tonight, I want to watch this fight. It's like, it's odd. I guess I'll watch it.
Do you think he's ready for top 15, Babu?
Yo, welterweight. Yeah, probably. Chief Neil Magny.
Magdad.
Boy of the division there.
I think Magny's got to fight.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's booked already with Carlos Prates, so he's probably gonna. The fighters that he can maybe look at is Presidente Luque
Whoa. Neil Magny's fighting Carlos Prates.
Yes.
Is that what you said now?
Isn't it Neil Magny, Carlos Pratis?
Sure,
No.
bro. I don't think so, my bro. I don't think they would put Neil Magny through that, my bro. Yo, that
I
if
think I saw,
if that's happening, then
I saw it
I,
this morning.
I need to
Was
stop
it?
watching UFC, bro, because this is
I,
becoming
s-
abuse. This isn't a
I
fight.
saw it
That's
last
not a
night.
fight, bro.
Yeah,
That's abuse.
it is. November
Yeah,
10th, buddy.
I saw the announcement from Dana White.
Nah, not Neil Magny, bro. Yo, shame. But
Like,
You don't
okay,
think you should?
guys. Yo, that's big news, bro. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you think should happen with Chidi Njokuani.
Yeah.
This is a major fucking bombshell, bro.
we can
Someone
do we
Neil
can do it.
Magny.
We can do a
That
separate episode about that.
that is a lamb to the slaughter. I need to confirm that, no, bro. Fuck it. But okay, let me get myself together here, boys, and we'll keep it moving.
composure, lads.
Need to
Composure, yeah.
keep my composure. Here we go to the lightweight division where we saw the only finish of the main card. We saw Grant Dawson beat Rafa Garcia by second round TKO. Babu, was this a good fight for you? What are
Oh,
your thoughts here, bro?
actually, a lovely fight from Grant Dawson. I can't say that I know him from previous fights, but after this, I think like he has that's something that I'll be like, oh, you know what? I'll check out the Grant Dawson fight because he seemed like he had that killer instinct. He was full pressure. He looked. I'm not sure if Garcia is like the real complete fighter to put on that showcase for against Grant Dawson, but I think Grant Dawson had an amazing showing. I think he just looked like a lovely complete fighter. He looked perfectly um he looked like the perfect candidate to make a run in this thing. Garcia, I think he didn't look like it, but Grant Dawson just seemed like he had the right game plan. He had everything. He thought about how he's going to approach this, and it was very methodical in the way that he approached everything. And he had like a liquor post fight also that made me laugh. And
Yeah, it was quite
that's
funny.
why that's why I'll be like, you know what? I'll check out the Grant Dawson fight. He's
Yeah.
a guy, man.
Oh,
Quite funny.
PG.
Yeah, I was also quite entertained by the fight. I personally felt that if this was a completely only a stand-up fight, kickboxing or Muay Thai kind of fight, it would have been a lot more even. I think Rafa's got very good boxing combinations. His hands are quite quick, but I've never really seen him wrestle really well. I've always seen him lose by someone taking him down and just smashing him to pieces. And that's exactly what Grant Dawson did. Like that goes back to what Babu was saying. His game plan was absolutely perfect. The first thing I noticed already that made me feel a bit impressed about Grant Dawson was that his stand up looks very different. In the past, he never really looked very good in his stand up. This time, he looked like he was sharp, he was quick. His deeps look really well. His calf kicks look really good. And then obviously, we all know that his wrestling is just absolutely amazing to watch. The way he was able to navigate Grafa was almost like he didn't even when he shot with a single leg in the first round and second round. He didn't even use that much energy to actually get Rafa down. He just single legged him, turned the corner, put him down, and it was that easy. And then once he was on the ground, I think Grant Dawson went to work. The elbows that he was throwing looked really impressive, along with just the way his finishing sequence came down with the ground and pound. He looked like he wants to make a run at the top of the division, obviously. And I think that with a performance like that, and I know it was against a bit of a lesser opponent. No disrespect towards Rafa. I think he's a good boxer. Um, but he wasn't matched up really well against Grant Dawson. I thought Grant Dawson should definitely, the way he looked in that fight, I would love to see him climb climb the top 15 of the lightweight division now because that was impressive. But what was more impressive was seeing the different blueprint that he brought out. He looked like a very different fighter. It looked like his weight was cut was nicely, and his style just looks more solid than what he did in the past. Like he's not overtly relying on his wrestling now. He's actually comfortable standing, and I thought that's what impressed me most about Grant Dawson in this particular fight. So yeah, one to watch for the future.
Who does he fight next, PG?
Who does
BSD.
he? BSD
I'm
lost, eh?
Yeah, I'm just putting that name
Yeah.
in the ad. But
BSD lost his last fight. Yeah, that's actually a good point, AD. I think maybe BSD because he's coming off back-to-back losses, and especially that the last loss he took wasn't against someone that was in the top 5. He lost to Njokuani Moicano, who only now is going to be jumping up into that section. So I would say, yeah, BSD is a good name, very good name for him to test his wall against. Paddy the Barry hasn't got a fight there. He hasn't got a fight yet. And Jalen Turner.
He's probably gonna fight Moicano next.
He's probably going to fight Mokana. Okay.
Yeah.
So then
Well, I
BSD,
imagine.
BSD's back-to-back losses. I think it will be a perfect matchup for Grant Dawson, actually. Now that I'm looking at the list, that makes the most sense. Especially that he's
Mm.
making such a big call out about, because if you watch his post-fight interview, he was like saying, I'm here for this division. I'm going to take down this division. I'm the puzzle for everyone else. So like, okay, cool. Let's see. You're going to go up against someone that's the hot prospect of the division in BSD right now.
Yeah, I think that would be a good test for him.
Mm.
Babu, any final thoughts here before we keep it moving?
In that division, I just want to see Rafael Fiziev fight, bro. I
No,
just want
you
to see
won't.
my guy. Like,
Rafael
if
will
you
mood
think you're
him.
good enough, stack him up against that man and see if you're good
You will
enough.
lose.
Because
Nah,
You
he's
will
not
that
ready
lose.
man
yet.
is
Bro.
like a
Not
Yeah, he's
ready
not
yet,
ready,
I don't think.
Babu.
Yeah.
Fazib is too intense. Not right now. Fazib is too intense.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have received confirmation that Neil Magny is scheduled to fight Carlos Prates on the 10th of November, which,
10th
as
of
I've
November.
previously mentioned, is an absolute farce. But I'll possibly be
Yeah.
making a video about that a little bit later, so keep an eye out
Yeah.
for that one, ladies and gentlemen. But okay, boys, let's keep it moving then. And here we
Mhm.
saw our boy D-Rod in the welterweight division beating Alex Morono. Again, here another split decision. So Babu, was this the right decision for you?
yeah, I think so. I think Rodriguez looked like the one that was dominating or not dominating, but basically conducting that fight. He was the one that was really moving forward, and Alex Moreno was just trying to catch him on the counters. I think it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was one of his better performances because I have seen like other fights of his where he's been more dominant. But I do think it was an evenly matched fight for him, and I think Moreno still put on like a decent showing for himself. But I don't think this fight really blew my ear back. But I think like it was the right decision at the end of the day.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. PG.
Yeah, no, it was quite entertaining for me actually because I thought that Alex Morono, I felt he had the speed advantage. I remember saying it in the preview as well. I felt that his kickboxing stuff may pose a little bit of a threat, and it did for the first like 4 minutes of the first round. It looked like he was making Dan Rodriguez, really struggled to find his rhythm because of the speed and Alex Morono throws spinning attacks. His kickboxing style is very different, very unique to him in the welterweight division, to be precise, actually. But I always thought that Dan Rodriguez was stronger, taller, and I thought he was more composed. And that's what we started seeing that when I think it was early, very early in the second round, Rodriguez threw a body kick that made Morono like stop. He just stopped, jump. He has this thing where he jumps around, he jumps around. When he got kicked in the stomach, he just stopped. And I was like, yeah, he felt that. And from that moment, Dan Rodriguez started piecing him up and was winning the boxing exchanges, winning the kicking exchanges, stuffed the takedown, and then the takedown of his own. I know it was the end of the fight, but it shows his experience. He realized, okay, I got 10 seconds in the third round, land a takedown here, fight's guaranteed mine. But I thought he really won the second round. He lost the first round, but he definitely won the second round by boxing a little bit better. He had Morono rocked twice in that second round with two left straights, a couple of body shots. Rodriguez took a couple of shots from Morono, but none of it actually like deterred him and never made him go backwards or feel like, oh, I'm rocked. Every time he took a shot, he just walked forward and landed his own combinations, and Morono couldn't really get out of the backward step in. He kept on going backwards and lateral, which meant that he couldn't really actually go forward, which also means that he wasn't at all dictating the fight. That's why in my mind he lost the fight by split decision. He definitely won the first one, but he definitely lost the second and third round. And well done to D-Rod. I didn't even recognize him, to be quite honest. I was like, who's this dude? And then I looked at him properly and I was like, oh my word, Daniel Rodriguez. We got the whole cheese cup and everything, but
Yeah.
good fight. Really good fight for him. I don't really see either of these two gentlemen making any run in any division that they're going to be in. They're both at that age of and their styles don't make it, man. I don't see them doing really well against the top of the food chain in the welterweight division. But bottom of the division, yeah, they can make for exciting fights there.
I think anybody's got a chance to beat Neil Magny, bro, to be honest with you.
Nah, he lost. Rodriguez lost, bro. Magny has that victory over him, if I'm not mistaken.
Against
But
D-Rod.
Yeah.
how long
think
ago
so.
was that, though?
I'm looking
Let me
here.
just check.
Must have been a while back.
Neil, don't get me wrong,
2
bro.
years.
Yeah, but
2022,
Neil
years
yeah.
ago.
Magny of the last like year and a half or your last year
Yeah.
has just been, yeah, it's not good, bro. And that's why I'm so worried about this Carlos Prates fight, bro. Honestly.
Yeah, he
But
might
yeah,
get finished.
again, I think I should make a video about that, guys.
Yeah, I'll be
But
down. I'll be
anyway, so
down.
you guys don't rate D-Rod to make a run at the top 15. Final
Um,
thoughts on
I
that?
think they feed him a name. He loses against the name. Then he
Yeah.
comes back and he fights somebody that's a prospect, and then he wins the prospect. So he's like caught in between that. Like every time the UFC gives him like a Gastelum, Magny, Gary, he loses
Yeah.
against them, but he
Mm.
beats like people like Moreno and
Mm, mm,
I think it was the Leech. He beat the Leech
yeah.
as well. So
Yeah.
like there is like he keeps winning the ones that we don't know about, but he loses against the ones that he is. So it's like he's caught in between that.
That
Yeah.
might be a fair indicator of where he is and where he's going to finish as a
Facts.
fighter. BG, you think that's fair comment?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. It really does. And I'm looking at the welterweight division, and we now know that Neil Magny is fighting. Vicente Luque doesn't have a fight. He could fight Vicente Luque. And then there's Michael Venom Page. And if he doesn't beat Michael Venom Page, then I really don't think he should make a run at the end of the top 15, to be quite
I don't
honest.
think he's gonna beat Venom Page, bro.
You see, exactly. So I think
But
D-Rod
then the
should
thing
reach.
is, if he goes to Kazakhstan for a few months, bro. I mean Dagestan, sorry, Dagestan, not
I
Kazakhstan.
mean,
For a few
they
months,
kind of
bro,
very
because
close.
you just gotta wrestle MVP, bro. So
That's true.
you never
That's
know.
very
You never
true.
know. But okay, boys. Any final thoughts on the card as a whole before we wrap it up here?
My
Not
final thoughts would be make the gloves smaller so people can fucking get knocked out or something, or can we see some more finishes in the
I
UFC,
don't think it's
please?
a glove problem, bro. It's just a quality problem, I think. Barbara,
Probably.
from your side,
just put like at least have two like fights finish like on the main card in a finish,
Mm,
but do something,
mm,
incentivize it in some way, especially like for fight nights, because fight nights they really do drop off like in terms of star quality and stuff like that. It's
yeah,
like
bro.
really hard to get up to watch
That's a
this stuff.
fact. That's a
Put
fact.
two fights that people are looking forward to seeing on the card at
Mm,
least. You know what I mean?
mm, yeah.
But okay, boys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching once again. If you have made it this far in the video, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We are currently at 674 subscribers. We are well on the way to 700, and we'd be very happy if you could help us make that happen before the end of the week. Thank you.
Yeah,
But ladies and gentlemen,
true.
thank you once again for the support from myself, BGBB, and all of us here at the CPS Reports. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.